Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Nair, and here basically we are discussing about the 197th part that is of the formula. And here basically we are going to discuss that is about the 7,000 user stories are basically created the Earth planet, and 1,000 user story basically created the India land basically. And in this basically the 1,000 power plant basically are used in Vadodara city for Vadodara city. 500 power plant are basically used for Mumbai city, and 800 user stories are basically there, right? In Mumbai, basically, it's a 8,800 user stories, basically, right? We'll take here, assume that it's a 200 user stories. Sorry, the 20 user stories. So, 1,000 user story basically created India, 20 user story basically created the Mumbai, and it's a 500 plants basically. That is basically the power plants. So here basically what is the thing basically? Here the thing is basically the Earth planet is created on the base of certain user stories, right? On the base of certain user stories, the Earth planet has created. Here basically we have taken one example of one Mumbai city. Mumbai city basically created on the base of 20 user stories, and in this user story basically there is one user story which was basically created in universe in one of the planet basically when basically the Earth planet was not exist. When Earth planet was not exist, that time basically the user story was there were seven friends. Six basically got married. Seventh basically not able to marry. Six basically people got busy in their life. But the seventh person basically nobody taken care of that particular seventh person. So in this basically not able to taken care by the six people, six friends basically, the seventh person died. He was not able to do marriage. He was not able to set in his life. He was not able to earn money, means he was not able to do anything. So at start basically he got some disease, or basically he committed suicide. This was basically story which was tracked by the satellites. So just to see basically the user stories, according to the user stories, the satellites are tracking the stories. It's not basically the human person basically is watching anybody from the sky and tracking the user story. The satellites are tracking the user stories. And according to the satellites user story, the next planet got created. That was Earth planet. On the base of that all user stories. On the base of that all user stories. So basically how many user stories are in the Earth planet? There are assumed 7,000 user story basically got created. 7,000 user story basically got created, and that seven friend basically which was the one of the user story, that was basically in the Mumbai city, in Mumbai land, that basically generated the Mumbai land. In this basically that was basically one small part of the user story of the entire Mumbai city user story. So basically, this basically we have already discussed, but the next topic basically is connected with this. That's why basically I am just briefing the thing. Now, basically, what happened? Again, basically the same incidents happened in the Earth planet. Assume in Odisha city. Sorry, it's not city; it's state. In Odisha state, basically one of the city, basically any basically city we can take. In that, basically there were four friends. Here basically the number has changed, but the story basically it's same. Three friends basically got married, well settled. Their family basically also started. They have each and every people basically have three, four childs. The third number, the fourth, third, there are basically four friends. Three basically got married. One basically was not able to do the marriage, and he committed suicide, or basically he died due to some reason. So here that story basically got activated. Here, just to see the dangerous level the Earth planet has already reached, because the power supply which Earth planet is passing to each and every cities, that are basically passing on the help of the each and every city's user supply. sorry, each and every user stories basically, because you can't ignore a single user story of the world. If you are ignoring, then you are going to get problem in future. That is 100%. That is 100% you are going to face a problem in future. So here the thing is, the user story basically got generated. That person basically committed suicide. Reason was he was not able to do marriage, he was not able to earn the money, and he was basically not able to do anything in his life. So that user story basically got generated, and that was basically one of the city in Odisha. His friend basically not helped him. His friends basically not able to help him. His If the basically friends might have helped him, then basically he might have nice lifestyle, nice job. He basically might have got the marriage. His also basically life might have started. His life also might have started, right? So basically he was not able to do that, and he basically something happened basically in his life. So that power supply basically company tracked that user story, because you can't miss a single user story. Whatever incidents happening in the each and every city, that you have to track. Whatever user story is it. User story means whatever incidents is happening in the cities, you have to track it. If you are ignoring it, then in future basically you are going to get a big problem. But this basically the power supply company never ignores. Whatever energy, for example, you are doing whatever activity, for example, you are moving from here to there, you are not able to get the job, you are moving to Mumbai, you are moving to Bangalore, you are moving to Dubai. That users, the people is not ignoring it. Why? Because they don't have work, right? But sorry, they don't have time, because they are busy in their life. If they will be helping, then basically they will be in trouble. That's why basically they will never do, they are not, because they are not supposed to do the thing basically. The stuff basically is of, if one person is searching job, then whose responsibility? It's basically the government's responsibility, right? Then basically it comes to the human resource responsibility, right, of the cities. For example, one person is searching the job in Mumbai, then Mumbai government is responsible. Mumbai human resource are responsible. For example, one person is searching job in Vadodara, then Vadodara government is responsible. Local government and the central government always comes into the picture, because central are controlling each and every cities. So central plus states are responsible for that user stories, and that basically is going to tracked by the power companies. That is 100%. So that basically was tracked by the power company. So you can't, basically, if you will ignore the human, basically the Bollywood also will ignore, but the power company will never ignore. Why? Because the incidents basically he has traveled there, he has basically done this, that that energy is basically 100% going to capture, right, in the form of energy. So that energy got generated, and then basically assume that the friend basically, here basically we have taken an example of the user story of one of the Odisha person. So then basically the user story got generated, and in Mumbai land basically that user story got connected. That user story got connected, and as the power supply basically of the Odisha basically was getting by the Mumbai city, that time suddenly basically the rain was falling, that time suddenly the sand got, the land basically of the Mumbai start shaking, and basically each and every lots of buildings basically got falling. Why? The reason was the power supply which was passed. And when the power supply got passed, that time basically lots of things basically connected. But here the main thing is, this basically why it's not happening. Why these all things are not happening? Because the satellite groups are controlling each and every power supply which is passed by the each and every cities. So from this basically what came into picture? From this basically that came into picture is the power supply company and the nuclear power company and the energy companies which they are passing the data, they are not aware about the data which they have to pass. The reason is the satellite groups are controlling each and everything. Otherwise, if they will pass the data, then basically just see. Just take one practical example. Assume that satellite people basically left the control and told that you basically Earth planet run the world. Then just see basically what is the thing is going to happen. I am 100% sure, not 100%, 200% sure that whole world is going to get big earthquakes. Mark my words. The whole world is going to get big earthquakes because each and every things are controlled by the satellites. I will take few more example. For example, there is one missile going to be blast in the one of the cities, right? So what is the procedure? The procedure is the power company is going to set the environment. For example, the missile is going to blast in the certain areas. That area basically missile basically is of 2 kilometer area. So power companies by default is going to set the environment of 2 kilometer only. If they are passing the environment of 1 kilometer, then basically it's only 1 kilometer is going to affect. Assume that they have passed 2 kilometers. So 2 kilometer is going to get passed. But here the main thing is power supply company basically settled the environment. But satellite groups told that we basically don't want the nuclear blast. Sorry, the missile blast. So they basically has not passed the control. Sorry, not passed the condition of the 2 kilometer area going to be blast by the missile. So that is not going to blast. Why? Because satellite groups has not passed their conditions because they are telling that we don't want this missile blast. But certain time basically what happened? They says that we want blast. So the power company also settled the environment, missile also thrown by the countries. Then satellite groups told that we basically want. Then basically the condition applied here. They basically send their condition also. Then 2 kilometer area got blast. So this is the thing basically. So without satellite groups, nothing is going to happen. And if satellite group says that this has to happen at any cost, then basically it's 100% going to happen at any cost. So here basically the user story is 7,000 user stories basically created the world, and the satellite groups knows that the world has created with the help of the user stories only, and satellite groups knows that each and every user story is basically created. So same way basically the world is creating the user stories, right? And world is not going to create problem in the because user stories are created where user stories are created in the earth planet only, right? But the control of the brain of the each and every person is controlled by whom? Lots of people says that it's controlled by the power company. Lots of people says that it's controlled by the nuclear power company. Lots of people says that it's controlled by human energies. Lots of people says that it's controlled by the satellites. So whatever thing basically, I have taken one example also that there was one CRM project. Assume that in this world basically there is no CRM project exist, right? I had taken this example long before, but I am telling the how the brains are working. There is no world in this world basically there is no CRM project. That is basically the customer relationship management project does not exist in this world. Now basically the customer relationship management basically was planned by 100 experts that are basically who are the basically experts in the customer relationship management. In customer relationship management they are experts, so they basically done the meeting in one of the hotel, and they were basically 100 people. They have done the meeting, the power company has taken the 100 energies, and there basically the five types of CRM project got generated. Five types of human CRM project got generated. Five types of types means five waves of CRM project got generated, right? So five ways of CRM project got generated, and then basically the power company has taken that data also. So just see the each and every second, each and every minutes are so dangerous. So means so critical for the power companies because they can't miss any of the energy. If they are missing, then they are only going to suffer in this future. Why? Because they are creating the user stories of Earth planet, so that the next planet basically which is going to create from the Earth planet, that is supposed to create perfectly. If you are missing any, because if you are missing, then the satellite groups are not going to miss. That's why basically each and every energies are basically captured by the satellite groups also. But power company basically never miss the energy. So here basically the thing was five to six types ways of CRM project got generated, and then basically the power company basically tested each and everything, and then basically they settled the environment of the CRM project in the power companies. And nuclear power company basically also tested that same this CRM, five types of CRM, five to six type of CRM project is going to generate vegetable, fruits, and oils and petrol, whatever basically, which is supposed to generate. So like this, basically the nuclear power company also tested that this is 100% going to generate if you enter this type of data. So that was also fixed. So like this, the environment was settled, and then basically what happened? The nuclear power companies told that this has to be practically done. So for that, basically they selected one TCS company, that is basically the Tata Consultancy, that is the number one company of the Mumbai. Sorry, the number one company of the India. TCS company owner knows that there is one CRM project which is going to be created first time in TCS in this world. Repeating the word, there is basically one TCS company in Mumbai, that is basically the number one company basically you can say in India basically. They got the contract, and the TCS company owner basically got the contract of the CRM project first time going to execute in the world. This contract they got, but the company owner knows that CRM project is going to be execute in this company. So the set of basically assume that there were basically seven to eight project managers basically. At least basically you should need seven to eight, because there are six ways, right? Each and every ways basically also has to be checked, right? Like this, assume that around 12 project manager basically connected with each other, and they are basically in conference room, and they are basically discussing, and the CRM data basically which is going to connect to these six ways, that are basically the six ideas. That data basically was passed to each and every managers, that are basically the 12 managers. So like this, basically each and every managers basically got the data, they connected with the each and every six ways. So two manager basically connected to one way, like this basically the six ways was basically connected. Assume that there are seven ways. Assume that there are seven ways. So like this seven ways in Hindi basically it's called Tariga. From seven types of CRM project basically was going to generate. This is basically clear. So seven ways basically on the way base of the CRM project was going to create. That idea was basically tracked by the 12 project managers. So they created the seven ways CRM project in the TCS company. So like this way, basically the seven types of CRM project was tested also. This basically the company owner knows, but the manager basically they don't know that this is going to be the roadmap of the each and every thinking basically, thinking by the project managers, thinking by the project managers. So just to see basically the roadmap basically they are going to think, and this roadmap basically was created by whom? That was one of the company was air condition company, then the power company selected that, but these two are basically virtual, right? But physical you have to need something, that was foods, that was the food industry. They basically done the roadmap of that CRM six ways basically which the project manager are going to think. That way basically was created by the this three group, that was basically the food industry, the power company, and the energy power company, and the uh, uh, nuclear power company basically you can say. So like this basically the roadmaps was basically created, right? The roadmaps basically got created by these groups. Now basically what you required, that is basically they basically checked also, The energy power company checked the wave basically which was created in their body, that is basically in the form of blood cells, right? Because they already had the foods. TCS told that basically we are giving the project manager this food only. That's basically special food for project managers. That's the special food for the project managers. So they had that food and they basically started thinking also. Not yet basically they have not started the CRM project. Their brain cells basically, their blood cells basically was mapped in the six ways. The way was basically created by the this group basically, right? Food industry, power industry, energy plants, nuclear power plants, air condition groups. The waste basically was created inside their body and their brains. This is basically done. Now basically what happened, now the project company owner basically the TCS owner told that now basically our people are ready because we have tested the brain also and the blood cells also of the all the 12 managers which are going to start the CRM project first time in the world. So just see how dangerous it is. It's not very dangerous basically because each and every things are tested, right? Each and every things are basically tested perfectly. That also basically number one company, that is basically Tata Consultancy Service. So this up to this time basically only company owner basically knows that, and basically he's watching each and every 12 project managers whether they are eating this food or not. He's basically physically checking it also. You just imagine basically up to the level the industry has reached. That is basically the software industry. Now basically the things are connected because software industry says there's because the world is telling that software industry is the alternative way of the natural items. That's why basically he is doing his work, right? That's why he is doing his work because he has told by someone that this is the alternative of the natural resources. Because he is not god, TCS company owner is not a god, right? He gets the data, he have to work according to the data, that's all. Because if he is god, then basically why he need the foods also? He can directly tell anyone basically I want this. There is no need of software company, there is no need of employees, nothing is required, right? Because he is god. But it's not like that, right? So he's basically just human basically, whatever he is supposed to do that he is doing. So like this basically he tested the foods, tested the brains, tested the blood cells, and he tested that also basically if the person is basically going to that road maps that is basically inside the body and thinking up to the level, is anything is going to happen in their body, is anything going to happen, is anything any disease is going to generate. That also basically he tests. That type of artificial intelligence softwares are there, data science projects are there. Artificial intelligence is the best example of this basically, which is going to check the thing basically whether the things are basically whether any disease is going to generate or not, whether any disease is going to generate in his body or not. This is the best example of data science project and the artificial intelligence. I think this is the best example of artificial intelligence if anybody asks. So like this, the company owner basically the TCS owner told that yeah basically we are ready. So power company, are you ready to pass the data to the TCS company? And the time basically schedule is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then basically the break time is there. And after 3 o'clock basically you have to start the project. So like this basically the time schedule was of thinking of the CRM project, that is the discussion of the CRM project was 16 days. So within 16 days, basically you have to confirm that the CRM project is going to complete, and they basically do the presentation also in front of the company owner. All basically six ways are basically displayed or not. So like this, basically they have done the schedule, and like this the 16 day schedule started. They are keep discussing. The company owner is also basically lively watching each and everything. Basically, the people basically who are thinking, they are thinking according to the roadmap given by the power companies or not. So they are thinking, right? They are thinking on the perfect roadmap only, which was created by air condition and the food companies and the power companies. And power company basically directly takes the data from the nuclear power company. So just see basically what are the things. So just basically now basically the roadmap is generated from the human body and the brain also. Now basically the project manager completed their 16 days and they basically done the presentation of all the 6 days in front of the company owner. That was basically the TCS company owner. They display the 6 ways in front of the company owner. This is done. Then basically the power company told that yeah basically the way basically which we have drawn exactly all the 6 ways are tested. Exactly the 6 ways was tested. So the power company basically taken that idea from that 100 project managers, sorry, the CRM groups basically. Then they passed these ideas to the software industry. Software industry basically, this 12 project manager basically captured that idea and their blood cells basically got generated and their energy got generated. That was software CRM ideas. First, it was only CRM ideas, it converted to software CRM ideas. That was basically software CRM energies. That basically was captured by the energy companies and power companies and nuclear power company. Then basically what they have done. Then the nuclear power companies exactly tested same way basically the CRM project was CRM only CRM energy was tested. Same way basically they tested and they told that basically yeah basically it's ready to generate the CRM software vegetables, CRM software potatoes, CRM software oils, CRM software petrols. So they told that basically, yeah, basically it's ready. You can use the CRM project in the market. And then basically the CRM project got into the market. And then all the software companies in this world, they started knowing that, yeah, basically there is one CRM project basically that is basically telling the each and every information of the customer relationship, what are basically customer, how the customers are handled, how the customer basically, how the normal person basically becomes the customer, what are the things basically to get the customer, what are the ways basically how to get the customer, how basically customers enter the basically the normal person enter the product area, on the how many ways are there through newspaper, through road map, through road basically comes, through basically walking, this few basically comes, few comes through agencies like this. Basically the all entire CRM basically was connected. Basically entire CRM project basically was generated by the all the ideas basically till now. Basically entire idea basically was created by that CRM groups basically, that were basically 100 people. Basically they have done the meeting in the hotels, sorry the hotel, basically one hotel, and this power company basically company captured that energy. So like this energy was captured. So just see basically how the things basically has already reached. The things basically has already reached. And this is basically just a small CRM project. Like this basically the software industry has created how many projects? Minimum basically it might be 1 lakh, right? No, not minimum basically. Minimum it might be I think more than 2 lakh, 2 to 3 lakh. Minimum basically I'm telling you. Because there are many projects basically which are done in WBS format also. WBS means work breakdown structure also. That part one, part two, part three, part four, part five. Because they are telling that it's very big lengthy project basically. So they divided the project also. So like this, the complicated thing basically has happened many things. The project was basically complicated. If you are doing any one single project that is complicated in the environment only, but they created more complicated. They divided sub parts also. That type of thing also basically has done by. So basically the thing basically is telling here is if you basically have thought this, which basically just now basically I have thought long before, then basically I think lots of things might have ignored. Lots of things basically might have ignored. This basically software company knows this. No, basically software companies are thinking, right? The company owner basically knows that the CRM project like is there, but he's basically doing his duty. Basically, he's not the god, right? He can't create the blood cells and go and tell that basically take it, eat this, and basically create the blood cells like this, because he is also human, right? Company owners are basically human. It's not a duty of company owners, right? So like this, basically, this was about the one of the creation of the city. So this basically we have already discussed, but here basically we have seen some little bit advanced topic. In this basically, if you see that video of the CRM and what is told here, then you will see the difference basically what I have told just now. What basically I have told just now. So like this basically the CRM got launched in the market, and the CRM utilities also got launched in the market. Like same way basically um, the VC plus plus also example we have. So how basically the VC plus plus thing basically. So here basically what are the thing basically which which actually created software company and the world basically more complicated. That is basically, for example, one Microsoft project is ongoing, right? Microsoft company just started, and they basically told that basically we want each and every captured of the each and every person's body. So at last, basically, they thought that why didn't we create the human souls of the person only, right? Why we don't create the human soul only? That is basically known as Microsoft Human Souls. That is known as Microsoft Human Souls. Like this, the Salesforce Human Souls basically got created. Like this, the Salesforce Human Souls, like this, the SAP Human Souls basically got created. Like this, assume that there are basically 1000 types of software main based company. They basically created blindly their human souls. This basically everything is done, right? Because human clone basically creation is already done. Like this, basically the Microsoft human clone is also there. This was basically told by one of the Bollywood person. Basically, I am not telling this. This was told one of the Bollywood person basically, because he is telling that they have seen each and every city creation. They have seen the each and every city creation. They are telling that they basically know each and every city creation. Example, I have already taken the lava blast which was happened in Vadodara city, in one of the area near the Vadodara city. That basically converted one mountain that was basically given the name as a Pavagad mountain. And there basically after that mountain creation happened, there basically one Mahakali temple was placed. One Mahakali temple was placed. And then basically from the lava sand, 3 to 4 people basically got generated. That was basically you can say it was basically magical basically. If anybody basically listen this, then basically he will say it's not possible. Then basically Bollywood group says that this is basically actually possible, because we have the video of that how basically the human generation has happened in Vadodara city. Like this, the 4 to 5 people, sorry, 3 to 4 people basically got generated. 3 to 4 people basically got generated. Sorry, they basically got created, not generated. They created by the lava sand, and the basically the uh, what to say, the life basically, the pran basically, the human soul basically, which is told given as name human soul, that was basically activated in their body. That was activated by mostly basically each and everything basically of the earth planet is by default connected by the satellites only. The satellite basically given the birth to that 3 to 4 people. So like this the birth has happened of the 3 to 4 people, and then basically the generation started. Then the human generation has started. Like this the human generation of Vadodara has started. It started. Vadodara started the human generation. So this basically all we have already discussed, right? So here basically we are just repeating the thing, basically which I was told long before in the videos basically, right? So now basically the this type of creation has also happened. Now basically we basically saw up to what level the government creation has happened, the nature basically got created, the roadmap basically got created. Each and everything basically are virtually basically. It's not still basically implemented practically. Just see basically what are the things basically are discussing. Each and everything basically has practically not created yet. Why? Basically reason is because sometime what happen, basically you create the physical thing, and then basically you, the energy group says that this basically is not created as per our plan. So nowadays basically what happens, the virtual creation basically happens first. Virtual creation basically happens first. So that's why basically any of the city basically newly gets creates, that city energy is already generated by the nuclear power plant. So they have the roadmaps that this many tree has to be created, this many buildings has to be created, this many vehicles has to be created, this many humans has to be created, this many water has to be created, this many lakes has to be created in the city. That entire user map basically, you can say user story basically, the nuclear power plant basically they have. Then also basically lot sometime basically mistake happens. Then basically the ED department comes, then the government department comes, and then lots of department basically comes. Then the lots of department basically comes. This all basically nuclear power company don't know, right? Nuclear power company don't know. But when they know, then basically something big is going to happen. That is 100% sure. Because the roadmap basically which they have told that this many only human is supposed to be there, then basically that much human only basically is supposed to be there. Then basically the global warming basically got created because global warming basically created like this only because the nuclear power plant group says that we have passed the virtual data to the each and every city government, and government basically has done the mistake, then that's not our problem. So nuclear power company basically directly will going to tell this only. Then the government people says that basically how you can say that you have sent the data to us. So this basically is very dangerous thing. How basically government will say that, how basically you can say that this basically you have sent to us long before. You have any proof? Then basically the fight starts with the nuclear company, power company, and the government. So basically, government and energy company, power company, and nuclear power company never can be a friend. If they are basically getting friend, then basically it's going to be create problem in the future. Basically, if they are basically working in the friendly environment, then basically there is no issue. But if they are telling that like you have never passed the data to us, and the nuclear power company says that we have passed the data to you, then basically why you created this type of thing. So here basically the thing is real plus virtual, real plus virtual, real plus virtual. So real thing and the virtual thing. First basically the virtual was designed by the nuclear power company, then the real group basically created their roadmap. They basically whatever, so they have also have to keep the each and every proof basically, because one day the government also basically can say that basically we have not told you that like this you have to create. So that private group also have to keep their proof basically. One day it might possible that government will say that we have not told like this to you do, and the one day basically private company says that no, basically you government has told like this only to us. So this creates also problem. So mostly basically this type of conflict might have happened long. This type of conflict might have happened, and basically there are basically many solutions. If you talk basically with each other, then basically there are many problems basically which get solved. So this is basically the 197th part, and 198 basically we are going to discuss lots of things that are basically connected with the subscription plan, which is basically created by the World Bank. Because before subscription plan, basically this was basically supposed to be discussed before that subscription plan is going to be captured.